Welcome to the Law, Your Money, and You. I'm Roberta Saphire, an attorney in Massachusetts.
And I'm Camille, Barron, a financial coordinator, also in Massachusetts. And Roberta, we've been getting so much feedback on our financial literacy work that we've been doing. So we have a guest today that is going to be sharing some information about a new program that is going on in Massachusetts.
Oh, great. Well, I have to say it's more than just a new program. It's a great program. We are so thrilled, honored, excited, and all those things to have Dr. Margaret Brooks. She's the head of the Bridgewater State New Financial Literacy Initiative. Did I say that right? At Bridgewater State College. And she's also head of the Jumpstart in Rhode Island. And she's fantastic. Welcome, welcome, welcome.
Oh, thank you for inviting me today.
Yeah, and I always start out, tell us a little bit about yourself. But I know we can go on and on and on and on and on because you do so many things, wonderful, wonderful things. But we're talking about financial literacy.
Okay.
And so tell us a little bit about yourself. How did you happen to end up director in the Jumpstart and all that?
Hi. Well, I've been at Bridgewater State University for over 30 years as a professor of economics, and I've really always felt economics was a passion. Growing up, a fourth of 9 children, we really had to make a use of our resources efficiently, and so I was always intrigued by the economy and knowing what was going on. So
Where were you in that 9?
I was number 4. So yes, but it was very exciting, very nice. And the first course I took when I got to college was economics. So it's always been something that I've been driven to study. I went to Brown University. I earned my bachelor's there as well as my doctorate, and I've been at Bridgewater as my primary career. And 20 years ago, I started the Center for Economic Education at Bridgewater State University to basically do outreach to teachers. And it's affiliated with the national organization, Council for Economic Education. So we've done a lot of work. In the early years, in 1995, 96, a lot of what we did was economics and history. But in more recent years, there's been a lot more interest in financial literacy. And so I found that through my center, a lot of teachers are asking, can we learn more about financial literacy? How can we bring this concept to our students? So there's definitely been a trend in that direction.
But not just the students at Bridgewater State. Isn't this like now moving? Tell us where it's moving.
Yes, it's moved throughout the
over.
region, and for many years we even had teachers come down from New Hampshire, teachers from Rhode Island would come to Massachusetts, and we ran a number of events for students as well. So students could participate in competitions of their economic and financial literacy knowledge. And then the president of Bridgewater State University saw the work I was doing, invited me to create a new office of financial literacy at Bridgewater, which would be focused not just on teachers, but also on our students at Bridgewater, many of whom would become teachers, but also from a variety of majors. And so that has been a very rewarding and a very exciting experience to be able to start and build the program at our school.
Wow, and what about the Jumpstart?
Well, I'm from Rhode Island, and I've lived in Rhode Island for almost all of the time I've been at Bridgewater.
But is Jumpstart, is that all over the country?
It is. It is. It's a nonprofit organization. It's a 501c3, and I'm president of the Rhode Island chapter. We also have most of the states. I believe there's 51 Jumpstarts located states. So we're part of a national coalition. So I live in Rhode Island. It's kind of a natural thing to become involved.
Well, give an example of what Jumpstart would do. Like an example, like
yes.
What's one of the things, or a few?
Well, they're basically the word is coalition. So we are very interested in building a coalition. So it is teachers, it is students, but it's also parents, it's veterans, it's librarians. We have so many groups. It's our government officials, it's our financial companies, businesses. Bringing people together as a coalition with a common interest of financial literacy, because an informed consumer can make better choices, and that helps them, and it also helps their communities. We want to make sure that people succeed and are able to make the best.
So you informed consumer. It's it's students. Like we've been doing things for students.
Yes.
Could just be housewives, professional people, businesses. Now, give us an example of a program or something that Jumpstart would do aiming at each segment.
Well, the primary thing we've done is to organize conferences, and these conferences are free and open to all. And would
We
be
went to.
Yes, yes, you came.
That's
You see the
right.
exciting
You asked me a
dynamic
question.
there of people just coming together on a Saturday, and you know, we were very fortunate to have sponsors for the conference. They were able to make it available free, and mostly it's just the excitement of bringing people together to have those conversations. So we're very proud of that. Each one of the conferences attracts over 100 people, and we find that it's just a very productive time.
So back to Bridgewater State University. Can you tell us a little more about some of the programs that you've introduced through the department, the Office of Financial Literacy Initiatives?
Yes. Well, the first thing I did, sort of launching into it, is say, okay, we're going to reserve the ballroom, and we're going to have a financial literacy day for our students. So the first thing I did was to go around campus and find out what is everyone doing with financial literacy, because we have an office of financial aid, and we have an office for internships, and we have career services, and everybody was doing a piece of it. And it was exciting to kind of find out what's going on, to let them know I was there to support them and let them know what other people are doing as well. And in organizing the day, inviting them to set up booths. So along the campus, in the campus ballroom, we had 30 tables set up around the perimeter. Something like what we do with the conferences. It can hold up to 300.
Oh,
So,
wow.
if for
So you had
people-
that many different areas of the school participating, 30?
Well, I think we had about 12 offices, and like we have a new veterans office that was there. But I also invited nonprofit members of the community to come and
good.
have free tables
That's
and set up.
fantastic.
So we did have some nonprofits there as well. And we have students that are looking for volunteer activities, so it was a good way for them to
Good.
come in and not just find out, you know, hi, here, can you tell me about financial literacy, but how can I give back? And that's an important part of what we've done at Bridgewater as well.
So this conference, what happened there?
Well,
You're a real conference person. You do such a great
Yeah.
job of setting up
Right.
conferences.
And tell our viewers how many Twitter accounts you oversee too.
Well, I tell you, social media is a very important part of what we do because so I have 9 Twitter accounts that I actively manage, and these are all professional accounts. And so when we run an event or if I attend an event, I'll take pictures and I'll post on Twitter, which will then get retweeted to others. And what it does is it acknowledges what people are doing and contributing. It acknowledges what they're saying, and it spreads it out to a much larger audience. So people who aren't at the conference or maybe who just want to follow what's going on in financial literacy have access. So I think that's been an important part of what we do.
Do you think the Twitter's more powerful than Facebook? Or it's a
I
different-
do. I do.
Really?
I inherited a Facebook page, and maybe just my own preference. I inherited a Facebook page, you know, for Round Jumps. I think we have about 100 followers, and Facebook is good if you want to post a lot of pictures at once. But you know, in Twitter, unless there's a way around it, you really only can post, you know, up to 4.
Yeah.
So it's
And 40 characters.
Yes. limited
really?
Yeah.
characters, limited number, but it's quick, it's fast. You can get it out there very quick on the site when it's there. And I find Facebook is just a little more cumbersome, but it does have value, and there are people who relate through that medium.
Oh, that's
So
right.
the
I gotta
conference,
start
what happened
getting
at the
into
conference?
that.
Well, we had our state treasurer who spoke. Also, Congressman Langevin came and spoke. Senator Jack Reed also created a video for us. He wasn't unable to attend because he was in Washington, but he's a huge supporter of financial literacy nationwide. He is one of the co-founders of the Senate Caucus on Financial Literacy.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Oh, I didn't know they had
Yeah.
that.
Yes, and
This is the federal you're talking?
federal, yes. So he is a co-founder of the caucus. I believe it was in June 2015.
Really?
He also worked with Consumer Financial Protection Bureau to establish the library initiative so that libraries could serve as portals for financial literacy. And there are numbers of libraries throughout the country who participate in that.
Interesting. So you had mainly the forum was, in addition to the booths, it was conferences, speeches.
It was speeches, but it was also some professional development sessions for teachers. And
Oh,
I had
good.
arranged with Rhode Island College that teachers who wanted to get credit for the day. Teachers want to put documentation in a portfolio that they received some upgrading of their skills in professional development. So they were able to, for $30, able to buy a record from Rhode Island College certifying that they had attended and received that. And we had a number of sessions going on as well in the side rooms, not just speeches, but also real training for teachers. Like, here are some new materials that you can use, how you can use it, and examples.
Really?
Do you get teachers from other countries coming?
Well, it was interesting. This year, I did work with a lot with a professor from Shanghai Normal University who came to Bridgewater State University for 1 year. I actually met with her this afternoon. She's leaving tomorrow to go back to Shanghai.
Oh.
But it's been a wonderful experience working with Jing Li because she works with students who are learning English as a second language, who are eventually going to become educators. And so we're looking for ways to collaborate. So we actually, she became very interested in financial literacy. She attended one of my graduate classes, and she became, a very active participant in the class. And she came to me to a financial literacy conference in Orlando, Florida. I had received an award at the conference, and she came to learn about how she can bring these ideas back to China.
Wow.
So we're very excited about collaboration and we were discussing today how our students can communicate with each other over Skype. There is no Twitter allowed in China, but with Skype, we may be able to have our students talk to each other.
Oh, that's
so we're very
interesting.
excited.
Yes, Skype is fabulous, isn't
Yes,
it? And
yes.
I know in Sharon there, the students in the middle school Skype with the students in Afghanistan. Imagine that.
Yeah,
Yes.
Isn't
yeah.
that wonderful?
Yes.
They find out what's going on. Now, we notice with our brought financial literacy to the local high schools and things like that, that it probably starts when they're born, but there's a lot aimed for high school students now. Does your either Jumpstart or the Bridgewater, do they reach out to high schools or are they staying in the colleges?
Well, the Jumpstart Coalition, and I'm also president of the Rhode Island Council for Economic Education, which is the counterpart to what Scott Guile does in Massachusetts as president of the Massachusetts Council. So I'm president of Rhode Island Council, so we do primarily work with K-12 teachers. That is the emphasis of the work. And to a certain extent, we also work with the students as well, like with the Global Economic Symposium competition such as that.
We went to that. That's
Yes.
fascinating, where the students, high school students from one school compete with the others.
Yes.
Fascinating.
Yes.
Now, let me ask you this.
Fascinating.
Financial literacy is a very broad topic. I mean, there's so much involved in financial literacy. What are some of the subject areas that you want to convey
Good
to
question.
teachers and
That's
students and
excellent.
members of the community? What are the top priorities, would you say?
Excellent. Yes, I think that if you would have asked that question 30 years ago, it would have been primarily how do you balance your checkbook?
Yeah.
And it would be very narrow definition. I think that over time, it has become, because of changes in our society, it has become broader. And I do think law is a very important part of financial literacy.
Law.
Understanding your rights under the law,
Interesting.
educating yourself. We have a lot of students who may be signing student loans that don't know what they're signing. And so
Okay.
when they graduate, they are surprised to find out, oh, wait a minute, I owe that much, or I have to stop paying now. And
When they lowered the legal age from 21 to 18, they really didn't do the students any favors because they sign when they're 18 and they're bound.
yes, that's right.
Especially with the government there, the college loans, you have to pay back.
Yes, I think that's been an issue, and I think even now, the fastest growing group of student borrowers, believe it or not, is over age of 60. So we have a lot of people who are over the age of 60 who are either taking out loans themselves or co-signing loans for children or grandchildren.
Oh.
Yeah.
And that is creating a potential liability for them down the road as
Sure.
well.
So law is one thing. What are some of the other top areas that you find
Yes.
people really need to learn?
I think internet safety and awareness, I think, is important. I think student loan debt is probably the number one problem, if you were to pick a problem. And then, so behind that, all the decisions that go into that, making the wise choices with your life, thinking and having a plan, having a budget, and thinking about how you're going to schedule your classes so you can get through as quickly as possible, and things like that. So all these kinds of decisions go into it. So when you see the problem, and you think, all right, what are the things that go into that? You
Yeah.
have to have that knowledge.
Do
to
you find
ask.
with the student loan debt, it's not just the students, but the parents who need to have this education too?
Definitely, definitely. Because I think it can go several ways. Parents, I've seen cases where parents might discourage a child from going to college, or a child might feel that because they may feel, well, they're going to graduate with all that debt and you don't want that. But then they're denied the opportunity of an education, which in today's society is really a necessity to get a higher income, to get into a better paying job.
Sure, sure.
A lot of the students that are aware, like years ago they weren't aware, who were aware that they might end up in debt, go to a community college and then
Yes.
they switch over. Do you find, like at Bridgewater, a lot of, quote, local people go there just to switch over, or
I do
maybe
find that.
part-time?
Yes, and the state of Massachusetts recently instituted a new program, Commonwealth Commitment, which basically rewards a student for attending a community college for completing an associate's in 2.5 years, and then they can come on and finish their bachelor's degree in 2 years. They get tuition reimbursement.
Really? When
For,
did this
not the
happen?
full tuition, 10% I believe
No,
it
but-
is of the
oh,
tuition fee. It's relatively new.
10%.
I feel kind of Twitter for the mass higher ed, you see. But they're really trying to get the word out. Yeah, you have to have at least a B average. There's certain conditions, but if it's held up,
Oh.
they've also put on the website which course transfers for which. Because one thing I've seen is
Oh,
students
yeah.
might take a class, and then if it doesn't transfer, they've kind of lost that, and they've got to stay a little longer.
Yeah,
They're
I
incurring more
think,
debt.
I think some of the colleges too aren't really, maybe they're better now, but they tell a student, oh, you take this, you'll get your credits, and then when they go to transfer, oh, well, we don't take that. It should have
Right.
been this course.
Right.
And then they won't let them in.
I've seen that, and I've seen or if it's in your major, they'll say, well, you have to take that class with us. You can't have taken it somewhere else.
Yeah, like you should have
So those
taken
rules.
mechanical drawing. Well, what does mechanical drawing have to do with culinary arts?
Yeah,
I think you have to take it.
Now, part of your outreach is, I think you said, to the community at large. You mentioned about student debt is very big.
Yes.
How about the community at large? Do you have any idea what some of the issues are? People who are not involved directly in education?
Right. I think it basically is debt. I think that student
Debt.
loan debt is huge. I think that you have the amount of people who are dealing with that. I think it's like $1.3 trillion in debt.
Ooh.
And the average monthly payment is about $350 a month. And I think this is behind the scenes. Even found people aren't directly involved in the financial literacy movement, they're still impacted by it. If you have a $350 payment you have to make, it makes it harder for you to buy a house.
Yeah.
So you may be renting instead of buying, or living with parents or whatever. So and you may be less likely to be able to move to a new location.
You know, I have to say, every guest we have, you get something from them, keywords, and I'm just writing yours: movement, commitments, professionalism, portal. I mean, you are into so much. You must impact so many different people. And do you have any stories to tell? That, gee, this one quoted you here, and because of you, this program started? Because I know you're into all this stuff.
Well, I think I've increasingly been asked to interview for different stories, about best states to live in, women in finance. I've been invited to speak now increasingly on that issue. We had a group at Bridgewater that invited me to speak, but I'm also going to be speaking at Mercer later this month to their employees about women who have
Where are you gonna
specific
be
needs.
speaking?
Mercer's, that's
a
an
company in
insurance.
Massachusetts.
I
Isn't
work
that
there.
where you
Oh,
work?
okay,
In
I will
Norway?
be
I know,
there.
I heard
Yes.
that.
Oh, when is that
I've been
gonna be?
invited. It's going to be later this month. So I will have to send you the
Suppose, yeah.
information. Holly.
That is so
She's a
funny.
Bridgewater alum, so it's all connected. By staying connected to our
That's
alums, we
fascinating.
begin to do that.
But that best states to live in, now you would think that has nothing to do with what you do, but yet actually financial literacy touches us all. I read that because I couldn't believe, God, she's into that too. But you said all of Massachusetts was number 5.
Well, it wasn't really my rating. I just asked the
But it
comment
was
in general.
interesting.
But yes.
What do you look for? Because you did that not just, I think that was more geared to women.
I think,
Was
and I think
there?
it was generally about opportunities, and I think
Oh,
just
what kind of
I think that
opportunities?
if a state provides you with opportunities to
Oh,
open a
the
business,
state?
to have a good standard of living, depending on what you're looking for. If you're retired, you may be looking for something different than someone who may have young children. But you want to find a community that matches your needs and matches your values, and is something place where you can succeed. You're not going to run into a lot of barriers when you try to accomplish your goals.
So isn't it funny how financial literacy encompasses everything.
Yes.
Yeah,
Everything
it
in the
does.
end. A career like we're through the Rotary. My husband's past president, Camille, is what are you, the chairman
Vocational
of?
chairperson.
Vocational
Oh,
chairman.
okay.
So besides bringing financial literacy to the schools, we want to engage career development with it, because if you choose the wrong career, well, you can't live on such and such
Yes.
for your career.
Right. And then it's costly to go back.
Yeah.
And to retrain, and so it does put people. So it's really part of that planning process. Not that you necessarily want to be 18 and this is my rigid path in
And
life.
do you have a staff?
Well, I have colleagues that support me, so I would put it that way. I don't have staff as such.
You should. I would give you advice. We've been to that building, that new building that
Yes.
you're in. She has a beautiful building, beautiful new building. But you must have a lot of students. Maybe you don't know about them yet.
Yes.
But I know a few students that would love to intern with you. Do you have them?
I am looking into that, yes. And the students were actually very helpful in terms of arranging our financial literacy day, because not only do we
Yeah.
have the exhibits, but we had some students. We had singing, had a performance. It's just
Really?
different things.
Isn't that
A
nice?
speaker, yeah.
Because
So
you're-
different student groups.
We have interns, and a few which want to go to your school there. And your reputation is more than you think it is. I mean, it's just so well. Everybody thinks so well of you. You can tell why. Look,
Yeah.
well, it's just flowing from
You can see
Thank
you've got a
you.
passion for this.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's
That's-
amazing that you have such a
That's
passion.
great.
Yes. I'd
But
love to work with some
we
students.
have student interns, and sometimes their ideas are better than ours, or how to do it, and they can move faster than you.
Yes.
And quicker.
Exactly, and they know what else is going on. They know they know what will appeal. The
Exactly.
timing of when you're going to do something. You want to make sure it's not going to conflict with something else,
Right.
or if it's a certain day right before exams, they may not want to come.
Yeah,
Things like
exactly.
that. But yeah, so it's really important to understand from student perspective.
Sure.
That is
sure.
so great. And believe it or not, we're winding into our You've Got to Be Kidding segment, which is talking about money.
Yes.
I want to tell, unless, is there any other point that you want to bring up?
No.
Yeah, but I was in Arizona. I was getting 10 envelopes for 8 children and 2 parents, and it's Hanukkah. So I wanted to do something different. Hanukkah is 8 nights. I always say it's better to be Jewish, because not only do you get 8 gifts at Hanukkah, but Santa Claus also visits you. That's called anything you can use to brainwash.
Yeah.
So anyway, I went to the bank. I figured I'd play this money game. It's a good money game. I went to the bank and I got, I gave her few $100 bills, and I asked for 20 10s, 10 20s, 100 ones, and then I said in 25s. And the teller said, there is no such thing as a $25 bill.
You got to be kidding.
Yeah. I said, what? No. I said, no, I want $25 bills. She says, but there's no such thing as a $25 bill. And we went on and on and on. I says, wait a minute. You got to be kidding. I said, is there a supervisor or somebody else I can talk to? She says, no, I got the other stuff right. I just can't make you understand we don't have any $25 bills. I says, well, you know how you gave me these, and you know how there are $5 bills? She says, yeah. I said, I want 20 of them. So I told this to one of our interns, Jeff, and that was night, he thought it was hilarious. I told it to him and his girlfriend, and the next day, his girlfriend texted him this picture. This is a $25 bill. So you've got to be kidding.
You've got to be kidding.
And that's my You've Got to Be Kidding contribution of what I went through. Isn't that funny?
That's
So
wonderful.
That's about it. We really thank you for coming. Camille winds us up. Thank you so much for being on the show. And we're going to look forward to going to another symposium or another contest, another, just to see you. You're such a delight.
You're a great event
Thank
planner,
you.
I have to say that
Oh,
too.
thank you very much. Yeah.
Well, it's been great to have you here. We've spoken and met so many times, but it's nice to be able to have it in this forum because we'll have lots of people who'll be able to benefit from some of the things that they hear when the
Thank
show
you.
goes on.
There's going to be an influx of people wanting to register for your school.
Yeah, you should get a commission.
Yes. Well, they're welcome to come.
So anyway, to our viewers, thank you very much for tuning in. We really appreciate it. We know that you want to hear more on financial literacy. We can have Dr. Brooks back anytime.
Yes.
And stay tuned for others too, as well. And please let us know if you have any thoughts, any feedback, any topics you'd like us to cover in future shows. Because remember, this is your show, the law, your money, and you.